Yes, sir. Yeah. So that's great.
This is part of who I am.
This was really interesting. We actually have these wind turbines all over our area. We drive past them all the time, and I've always wondered about things like installation and repair, and this answered some of those questions, which is really cool. I never in a million years would have imagined how crazy of a task that repair would be. I loved hearing from the team at the beginning because watching them up in the air, hanging off of these giant blades, fixing them, I could see a really strong parallel between the job and some of the adventures they were talking about, like base jumping and climbing, skydiving. So I thought the introduction was really clever, very, very nicely done. The whole thing was great. I was really impressed by the sound quality too. It's not normally something I talk about, but you could hear how windy and noisy that environment was, and the audio wasn't lacking at all. So I thought that was great, and they did a really good job with this.
Such a well-pieced and well-crafted documentary. I loved the music selection for what felt like a very easy groove, and the sense of adventure to it as well. Great selection of subjects, and it was so neat to be guided on a day on the job. Essentially, it felt like take your kid to work day for a very intense work day. And we got that exciting cinematography following them on the job and getting right there in there with them. I felt as if I was almost invited in for the step-by-step process, and I was going over myself, so there was that great intensity and danger to it as well. You got a great sense of the teamwork, the camaraderie, what everybody's role is in the process, and yeah, those shots where they're hanging off the side felt visceral for me. Just kind of took my breath away, that's their daily job, and I do hope that it inspires people who have that sense of adventure to open up their scope of what they can possibly do as a job.
It almost feels like an instructional video, because in so many ways that is what it is. The work that these individuals do is incredibly brave and so intricately detailed. It was great to see the walkthrough of the process to really get a sense of just how difficult and precise kind of work this is. And it's not the typical kind of work, 9 to 5 job that we think of. But it, by the end of it, you're just kind of thinking the old cliche, like someone has to do it. And it's great that it's people that are this experienced and intelligent and really just immersed fully in their work. You could tell that they have an earnest passion for it. And that's what makes us so interested in watching the process.
This was a cool insight into like a very niche industry that you don't see too much content about. It was cool seeing them on top of the windmills, like doing their work, while one of their workers was like downstairs in the control room, like telling them what needs to be fixed and whatnot. Some really cool shots of them up on the windmills. And yeah, I think it was just overall the doc was just like a good insight on like I said, on like an industry you wouldn't normally maybe learn about on a day-to-day basis.
What a great group of people, so chill and funny. They really seem to enjoy their jobs. I love the upbeat jazz soundtrack under the interviews and the footage as they work. The camera work is also really fun, sometimes with GoPros, sometimes speeding up ladders, very dizzying. I really like how the co-workers can see the bigger purpose of their jobs, to encourage the work for future people who love ropes. Hilarious Bill Murray-like outtake scene. Awesome film.
This was a cool one. You don't really, or at least I hadn't really thought about necessary repairs to windmills. So I found it really interesting to see it being done. It's complicated work, it's technical work. And then on top of that, you've got that layer of doing it on ropes. Really, it's amazing. It was kind of exhilarating even to watch. I can hardly imagine being there and doing the work. Really, really well put together. They show us some of the mechanics of it, and then take us up there and we get to see it being done. It's a great little piece. I thought it was thoroughly fascinating. It's a good one worth checking out.
Now, I'm going to admit to something. I don't like those windmills because I think they are a bit of an eyesore. B, I am afraid of heights. So you take two things that I'm not crazy about and you make a film about it, and it is to the testimony of the filmmaker that I was actually interested in a sort of strange, perverse way.
Wow. What a job. I couldn't do that job. It's great that they can, and that was amazing to see what they were doing with the rope work. And I have to give props to the cameraman for some of those really, really tight quarters, getting the shots that they got, going all the way up that tower, and then actually getting and doing the rope work with them to see what their job really was. That was incredible. The drone shots were also wonderful. That was wonderfully done. I really liked the way that the cast explained things. They explained what their job was and they put it in layman terms to where we could all understand it, we could all appreciate it, and we could all marvel at what they were doing and the fact that we need them to do what they're doing. I thought that it was really, really cool. Yeah, this was beautifully done.